And I'm Nikki, and we're the faces behind Agile Caribbean Link.
So today we wanted to continue a conversation that we started some time back, where we spoke about agile tips for non-agile businesses. And we know some of you enjoyed that conversation, but we figured we could say some more about the issue. So agile is a very broad topic. It covers a lot of things, but one of the things it focuses on is delivering value faster to your customers. But how can it deliver value to your customers, Nicola, if it is that you're not really talking to your customers to understand what they need, what their pain points are, and really and truly, what are the real opportunities for you to grow your business? So we wanted to continue that conversation to give you some ideas as to how you can tap into your customers to unlock some more values for your business.
That's right, Chantal. I think today's video, though, is more on a practical level. Like, what can you do on the ground to reach your customers?
Yes, using anything that you currently have at your disposal. So it's nothing new or anything that you're going to have to go out of your way to get. You have these tools already at your disposal, and we're just going to give you some ideas as to how you can use it to really grow your business.
Right.
Let's get straight into it.
So the first thing that we wanted to look at, Shani, is social media. I mean, everybody's on social media, right? And one of the beauties of social media is the fact that it allows you not only to reach hundreds, thousands, or hundreds of thousands of people, but it also helps you to facilitate one-on-one conversations with your customers. It's just that when you're having that conversation, it may be that numerous other persons can also benefit because they are seeing that interaction that you may have in terms of responding to a query from your customer or just accepting any kind of feedback. It's just that, as we said, that conversation is happening in front of many persons.
That's true. And one other thing, Nikki, which is a point that can stem from what you're just saying, is the fact that that one action can generate thousands of data points for you to kind of better understand the needs of your customers and better identify what your business needs to do as a new thing or new product or new service. And I feel like that is very invaluable, and it's something that is so easy. It's quick and easy. It's at your fingertips. You need to just post a status message or post a poll question, and you just collect those feedback and you figure out, okay, what should I do with this? Fair enough.
Right. And I think one important thing that you have said, Shani, is it's meant to be quick and easy. So what does that mean? Don't dwell on trying to get anything perfect.
That's true.
I feel like almost every video we mention the need just to try something and not to dwell on aiming for perfection, pretty much. So what do we mean by that? So not aiming for perfection doesn't mean that you're just going to put something out there that may be damaging to your brand, but rather what we're saying is even the phrasing of your captions, even the images that you use, it doesn't have to be anything perfect. It just needs to get the job done. To have a customer, user, anyone scrolling through to stop, see what you're saying, and then from that, if they want to engage with your content, just to give some kind of feedback, right?
That's right.
And that ties in too, in terms of just being able to do some amount of social listening. So you scroll through your different pages. You can look at your competitors' pages to see what their customers are saying, and you can gain some insights from that. The key is just trying to figure out how to use social media to ensure that you are not only just seeing what your customers are saying, but to actively understand, get some more insights from them. If you need to send them a direct message, just have that engagement with your customers or just general users on social media.
That's true, Nikki. And another point stemming from all that you've said is that you should not expect their feedback to always be positive. There are times when they're going to give you negative feedback, but that negative feedback is just another opportunity for you to turn your things around, change how you're operating, create something new. It could be a new product or service that they want that they're not getting from you, and you just optimize and maximize those new opportunities that they've given you. All right, Nikki. But what if social media is just not your comfort zone? It's not your space to try and engage customers or have conversations or to even ask a question and monitor the platform for the answers. Let's go old school. What about email addresses and phone numbers? How can you use those two tools to kind of engage with your customers and still get the information or the insight that you're looking for from your customers? Nikki, what are your thoughts?
So from my perspective, at the very least, if you have a contact number, it means two things. You can, one, call your customers, and two, you can also send them a text message. Now, for some of us, a text message kind of feels somewhat invasive. So why not start with a phone call? And that phone call can simply be just to say, hey, thank you for shopping with us. Thank you for ordering a product or a service. Thank you for whatever it may be.
Thank you for choosing us.
Right. And then you can take it a step further to ask, how did you find your experience with us? Right there and then, that's a direct conversation. That's direct feedback that you're asking for. And I don't know of any customer who wouldn't mind to say, hey, well, you know, the experience wasn't all that I expected, and just give you some insights as to what could be better. I mean, of course, a precursor to the conversation would need to be, do you have the time? 2 minutes, 5 minutes of your time just to get some feedback. But in the end, once you have that kind of conversation, it can't hurt. For the text message as well, what you can do is there is a tool called a Net Promoter Score. And what it simply tries to measure is, would your customer recommend your service, your product, whatever it is that you're offering, your business, to a family member or friend? So you can also use that contact number that you have to also send a text message to say, hey, thank you, but also, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend us?
That's right. And then you can use the email address in a similar fashion to gain that information. So even if it is that you want to kind of probably even build out an online survey, there are free tools online that you can use. And you can use this as an opportunity to say, hey, give me some feedback. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you want. Let me know what you need. And you gather so much more information. And you can use that information now as inputs into how you want to grow your business.
Right. And based on what you said, I think it takes us a step further into what if you have a website and some of those free tools that you're mentioning, Shan. So similar to the NPS, the Net Promoter Score, you also have what is called a Customer Effort Score. And this is something that we recently learned about.
That's true.
And it's similar to the Net Promoter Score, but what it is actually trying to measure is, how simple did your customers, did your users find whatever it is that they're interacting with? How simple did they find that process? Online. So say, for instance, they are ordering a handbag. Did they feel that there were just too many steps involved in the process to get to it? If you get that type of feedback, then it simply means then we need to revisit and like figure out, how do we make it a 1, 2, 3 as opposed to a 1, 2, 3, 4, 10.
That's right.
So that kind of information will definitely help you to figure out what it is that your customers like and what it is that you need to start looking at revamping, revising, optimizing.
That's right. And if it is that you do have an online business, then you also can utilize another tool such as Hotjar or Full Story to understand how your customers are interacting with your web pages. Because if it is that they have to scroll to the bottom to constantly, figure out or find what they're looking for, then it means that you probably need to relook at how you've laid out the information on the pages, because you don't want them to have to be scrolling too long, because you lose them. The longer it takes them to find whatever information they're looking for, whatever product or service they're looking to purchase, it's the likelihood of them leaving before they've made that purchase is so much greater than if it is that everything is just 1, 2, 3, it's right in your face. I can just look at it, I can get what I want, and I can say, hey, purchase.
That's right, Shan. And the good thing about Hotjar or Full Story is they have free versions. So depending on the type of traffic in terms of the number of persons who are coming on your site, you can take advantage of those free versions. But then even before you get there, like, there's a good old Google Analytics. We know that Google has a suite of products and services. And Google Analytics helps you. It's a basic start. It's a foundation that will help you to understand how your customers are interacting with your site, with your online business. It can help you to understand which pages are they interacting with most. Which pages is it that you realize that they get to that page, and once they hit that page, for whatever reason, they fall off, right? They're not continuing on the journey. And those types of insights will definitely help you once you are able to do some kind of analysis. Like, you don't need to be an expert data analytics specialist. It's good if you have somebody like that on your team, but at the very bare minimum,
you can look at it, and it's intuitive enough that if it is that you don't have any analytical background, you can make sense of what the information is telling you. So check it out, and you see how best it can offer some value to what you're trying to do.
That's right. So we mentioned the Google suite of products, and we mentioned Google Analytics. But another tool that is good for you to use is Google Search Console. And what it pretty much does is to help you to understand the terms, the words, the phrases that persons are inputting into the search bar to actually get to your site. To take it a step further as well, there are also websites that can help to recommend to you what the most popular terms and words are that persons are searching for. So that will help you to understand how you can tailor your site better so that you can get the impact that you're looking for.
That's right, Nikki. But let's keep it even like 100% non-digital, just old school. It looks like I'm specializing in old school today. But what about guerrilla marketing? And guerrilla marketing is simply hitting the ground running, literally taking yourself out through your doors, having a conversation with anybody you meet on the street, trying to understand, hey, if you're going to buy a bread, what do you look for in that bread? Do you count the number of slices in the bread? Do you test the softness of the bread? How do you actually choose the type of bread that you buy? And you use that information that you get from them to determine how you're positioning your product.
Right. And it may be a bit tricky now because it's COVID-19. But what you can do is, even if you can't go on the road to talk to just anybody, start with your family and friends. I mean, they're also consumers. They are also purchasing things. Get that kind of feedback from them. Just go to them and say, hey, as Shan mentioned, if you're buying a bread, what are you looking for in the bread?
Right.
And that will help you to figure out what you need to tweak, what you need to fix. Or as we mentioned, if you need to come up with something else to satisfy what they're looking for.
And if all else fails, you can even widen that pool of potential consumers who you're having this conversation with, and speak to friends of friends and friends of family, so that you can get even a wider discourse going about the type of information that you're trying to ascertain.
Right. So those were just some tips that we wanted to share with you. We hope you find them useful.
Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might find the conversation useful. And if it is that you have a topic in mind that you'd like us to talk about in a future episode, drop it in the comments. We're definitely reading.
And if you haven't yet started following us on our other social media channels, please do so at Agile Caribbean Link on LinkedIn, Facebook, IG, and Twitter.
Talk soon. So today we want to continue a conversation that we started before, where we shared some agile tips for non-agile businesses. But we thought there was more we could say about the topic, and we know that some of you really enjoy that particular topic in real life. You hear me attack and you know say I also should talk all the time.
Jesus, wait. I wanna come, sir.